welcome everyone guys to the Captain's Draft Group A matchup between Big Chuss and Beanz. Just solo casting for tonight, taking it a bit easy. Not calling it too hard. Taking a quick look at the plans. A lot of focus on supports at the moment. Costa's trash been taken away. Maybe one of his bigger picks down there. Rosters Morgana taking off the table. Also, I think my player probably also plays at mid, so it's not that bad. So parties are entering blank. Got Kai's on the board. Not too familiar with Wheeler the Champion, but taking the Cali is not bad either if they're comfortable on it. And Seraphim too. Okay, so not too surprising to see these things. First take away the Jin, which is a takeaway from the loop, one of his one tricks, so make life a bit more awkward for him. Maybe a little afterwards like the Draven, I think has been one of his most played ADCs. Or I could be getting my... No, I think that's right, yeah. So. It's already not bad, like it's one of the kind of more stable top laners, can kind of plays well into a lot of different matchups. Getting Ashe, I think is pretty good. I think it's like a decent answer to the Jin, obviously gets a lot of setup. Get a lot of obviously map control with the hawk shots as well, which is quite nice. They have a nice 2v2 lane with Jin Leona. The kind of Jin can kind of TL and CC that lane and moves. They can have like a really potent all in. And secure Hecarim for Waxy. So far kind of like a lot of hard engage. See what they'll choose to enter with on the red side. It's definitely picks so far already making Ashe very vulnerable. And then we answered in return, so that's going for Toad Sage. Which means it's a fine pick. Definitely a lot stronger junglers at the moment, but it's going to be more comfortable for him. He's definitely not one of the top junglers in the tournament. So just trying to make him give him as much utility as possible for these team fights. Although Greg is a man who kind of want to do two different things. Might be a bit awkward. Let's see how the times of the ultis go. The top laner's been taken up the table here. Comfort picks away from Beanz, got Shen and his own one trick set away. Galio and York away from Wheeler and Big Chuss. So it'll be interesting to see, like, I'd say like the Beanz will probably go towards something like the Wukong. Unless he goes for like just a straight up tank for engage, like try to pair with all this backline die that you got going on here. We'll be planning to choke out. Oregon pairs up really nicely with the Hecarim. Gives them some more potent team fighting, obviously with the Orion Shockwave. You put the ball on the Hecarim when he's going in, and then he goes to do the same thing with Wukong, so there's a lot of backline dive, and a lot of kind of like AoE team fighting in one go. Looking on the blue side. The only straight up tank though is the Leona, which so far isn't necessarily an issue because they don't have really anything that stress things on the red side, but Cassiopeia might be the answer for that. So as long as Cassiopeia herself doesn't get hit by the CC, she can lay down in the admin and just start shredding targets. Red side comp can look pretty scary, and also you also have Gragas for the disengage for anything that's on the back one side. It looks like Gragas actually going to support. So that's interesting. Ash Gragas not usually the kind of bot lane that you see directly, so very curious to see how this kind of pairs up into Jhin and Leona, which is a lot more kind of straightforward now what's in there. Very kind of kill centric bot lane. So yeah. Top lane I'm not expecting like huge amounts, like the Wukong could probably bully out the Shadow Knight. Mid lane, not expecting too much either. Depending on how good the leader is, I don't really know him as a player, so maybe he wants to try to punish Ioria. I've heard some Ioria in the early, you can make that happen. A lot of it's going to come down to like basically how kind of wacky can kind of exploit squad save and everyone. That's definitely probably one of the biggest mismatches on the map. See, because we're three going to try make kind of early ganks happen first team and just try to farm Snake as best you can. Definitely scaling for the side of the team here. Team Orion Jhin. Quite up on the thing. But yeah, we'll take a wait for Capon's probably for a spectator late to catch back up with stuff. Okay, so bit of trading on level 1, but nothing too fancy happening here. Oh, Robster, she managed to get that blue. The war on red pit. So that's pretty nice actually. It does mean that they have a little less info on where Aircraft's going to be starting. Although they could likely guess. Probably catch out Cough and Glue here. They do end up just backing off of it though. Oh, Blank does get caught out a little bit. Or else they're going way too far forward for that. Well, doesn't get someone first, maybe. At least not too harshly. Sorry, music should be a little bit better now. If it's, let me know if it's still too loud.
3.
Yeah, nothing too severe happening at the moment. Like using Pumpkin is losing a bit of CS, but shouldn't be too far behind the mark there. He catches waves. Oh, nice catch on the Pumpkin. Roster might be going blue very deep for this though. Oh, I saw the glue. Okay, so they managed to get the flash of the glue. Doug. We've already used that nice. Played with Leona. They could look punches now. Hecarim is balling. Block the top out. They do manage to get her blue though. Yeah, and all punished. Big power flash from both Jin and Leona, so Roster is going to be very vulnerable himself on any potential return tank from Tosage. But for now, we'll manage to get themselves a bit of lead here. Get the wave shoved in and cost Glue some of this wave.
You inspire me.
And they do manage to force a shove in, so yeah. Glue will mess on this. Not too much though. He's getting back there most of the time, like, so it's not the end of the world. Like that reset, probably trying to get himself pickaxe. I don't know if he has enough gold for gold, just the assist. So yeah, just get the components for the new Creeper instead. Yeah, no, I'm down if you want to hop in. I'm just on Quantex.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, my dude?
How are we doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. You in game? Oh, sorry, I realized I put push lock. How's it going, my dude?
Too bad. Can you actually can you watch it? Can you like stream to Discord? And I'll just watch that for you. Then I don't actually logged into the league.
Sure.
No. Just do your thing. I'll actually just log into the league and do it. I'm just an idiot. Close game so far.
Yeah. So, let's see. We have Foxy ganking mids. We should be safe now. It's anything together. That's fine. But yeah, like nothing too much separating teams so far. Just kind of early gank bot lane, actually getting ahead. Otherwise, fairly stable across the boards.
Absolutely, and not surprisingly, team Yeeting Beanz playing for bot side, leaving Yeeting Beanz on his Pretty nice matchup. And trying to punish a flashless Gloob.
Yeah.
And playing Ashe into the comp without flash against Hecarim is really nasty, especially like when you have Hecarim Leona.
Yeah,
Really hard
so
to play
good.
something like Ashe into.
Yeah. Like they've drafted around, been pushing the pit so hard. So now to see if they can continue to survive the lane when possible. Waxy is just kind of turbo preparing Toadsage's bot lane or bot jungle farm. And they're getting pro for the dragon.
Can you tell me what minute you're on actually? Or what second?
I'm on 6:27, 28,
Okay.
29. Oh.
Oh my god, he's been going for the all-in on the top side. I think he bursts onto Big Chuss, gonna have to force flash here. Flash follow from Niall and lovely return kill from Chuss. The wave's not gonna be too bad for Yeeting Beanz, but overall, really nice aggression because you need to get getting ahead in this Wukong matchup makes it feels really nice if you can get ahead of the tank.
Yeah, it's not too bad for Chuss either though because Wukong had to use flash, had to use ulti. They both have TP, so they're not. It's not like they're missing out on any waves. Although Chuss is opting to walk back, same TP for possibly a map play instead.
Yeah, I think Chuss is. This is a pretty big statement from Chuss saying that I want to save my TP to help protect my bot lane. Ooh, lovely ulti from Wheeler. I'm not sure if he can kite this out. Oh my god, and the phase rush is insane, and he actually plays that so well to escape the gank from Waxy.
Yeah.
So
like,
Waxy Nefarious ultless now. Or wait, oh, oh, Waxy's 5. Oh, whatever. But yeah, still really nice use of Caspia ulti.
yeah, a bit unfortunate that Waxy knocked him out of the Orianna shockwave. Bit mistiming, but yep, happens like.
Does indeed. Oh,
Wheeler
not afraid to go back on the aggression. Does go down and return gang from Waxy going, if it doesn't work once, try again. Comes back to, I mean, playing Cassiopeia into Hecarim, a similar spot to Ashe. I mean, has a little bit more defensive tools, but definitely this Hecarim is getting off the ground and getting stuff done. And like being able to stay level with Toadsage, who's pretty committed to hard farming on the Mumu. Really important.
Yeah, bot lane continuing to kind of stay ahead at 20 CS up. Blank on Gloob, keeping them pushed in, trying to force them miss waves, get themselves a plate here. Cost is waiting in the wings, but it's not really going to be able to make anything happen from this angle.
Yeah, and he does get pinged out by blue team. They do realize that. They do recognize the possibility. And I'm not really sure going forward how the with Gloob being one of the weaker members on Costa Corda's team over here, it's going to be pretty scary going into the mid game where we have this really heavy magic damage profile. Oh, we have an all in on bot lane. Oh, Costa Corda coming in here to be the guardian angel for Gloob. Oh, arrow into cleanse into trade. For Leona ulti. Oh, we're trading heavy with Amumu. Oh, and a TP from Chuss. And another TP in the river. Amumu trying to get in here. Oh, yeah. Possibly a trade kill onto Costa. Nope. And Blank does walk out, trading his boy Robster Monaghan to the gods. Yeah. And yeah, so a good punish overall. Really nice interrupt from Costa Corda on this. This is why you take this Gragas into Leona matchup, because it's really hard in lane for Leona to actually get involved and get onto the target whenever Gragas is marking him. So
yeah,
little return, trying to get Glue back into this game, and yeah, because they don't really have great options to dive onto Jhin late game. They are going to rely a lot on Ashe into Gragas Cask or a nice flank from Toadsage.
Yeah, like Gragas Cask for sure. Oh, Blank looking for Yulti here on.
He's looking to interrupt recalls. Oh my god.
Mostly being annoying here, but ultimately doesn't get the kill. Will get to shove in though. Cost Gloob a bit more CS and maybe get themselves another place before they reset themselves.
Absolutely. And every little helps here when you're trying to put down enemy AD carry. You're trying to make him as weak as possible. You're trying to make sure that he can be the one who has more impact in this game.
I see Waxy did get the rift here. Is looking for a pick on Wheeler. Oh, gets caught with Sausage. Nice Q there actually. So it does interrupt that play. And Waxy just gone back to his own jungle now. Going to clear out farm. Doesn't have to use the heralds just yet anyway. They've got time to kind of still get it down before the plates go down. About another 3 minutes on that. So trying to see what else is happening here across the map. Beanz still ahead of Chuss up in the top lane. Pulling up a decent lead, trying to get himself towards what looks like the Sunderer, or
Yeah. I believe that's the build into these tanky matchups on Wukong.
yeah.
I just really want to. Oh my god, to commit with Conqueror here. This is really aggressive Yeeting Beanz, but really nice punish because he knows that in the extended trade, there's no way Cho'Gath has damage to match him. But a bit of an overestimation maybe. Oh, can he commit? Oh my god, in the long trade with Conqueror stacked up, Niall is so strong in these fights, and he knows that your flash is my flash, and he gets the solo kill onto Big Chuss. Oh my god, spin to win. Exactly. Holy moly. So, Monkey Kingdom is top kingdom at the moment. And, oh, okay, Leona ulti flashing out. We have a nice little possible re-engage from Toad Sage. Oh, okay, so the TP from Nefarious. Pretty nicely avoided away by the bot lane.
Yep.
Trading Leona ulti for Ashe Flash again is going to make Ashe feel really nervous about playing up in this lane again, but at least we know now. So nice move from blue team to take the pressure and commit into dominating top lane there. Dominating top lane and getting the dragon at the same time.
Yeah, like really Beanz just creating a lot of pressure on his own. Gives him a lot of space to work with.
For sure. And because it's very hard to, I think, from a Mumu and Cho'Gath to make any kind of pressure early on any side of the top side. Because like 3v3 on the top side really is weak early. So yeah, really nice. I'd like to see some magic resist starts to come in here from Yeeting Beanz and from the Hecarim. Oh, really nice gank onto the flashless Ashe. Hecarim ulti into forward shot. Ashe will eventually die. Kill being donated to blank. And Costa Corda can do nothing but tap his belly and drink it as beer and watch his bot tower be demolished in front of him.
Yeah, like we definitely need to see something happen from Toad Sage pretty soon, because they're losing just gold and objectives across the map. Wheeler, in the meantime, looked for the solo kill on Nefarious. Wheeler managed to get
nice
it.
Punish. Such good, and knows the damage to walk away after he hits the QE. And yeah, just really nice damage mitigation from Wheeler, knowing that he sees his bot lane kind of getting behind and top lane beginning to struggle. So he knows, okay, if we're gonna have any chance in this game, I'm gonna need to start getting ahead. And,
yeah. So Toad Sage is looking top lane, but he's going to get spotted by a ward deep into the top rush. So Beanz should know he's there, and does with the clone very nicely done. He does have to commit ulti to do it, but I don't think he's going to care too much. Well, actually, maybe turn around the kill.
Oh, such a good health trade. Even if this results in nothing. Oh, the flash stun.
Oh no.
Oh, this is we've all seen this one. This is King Kong versus Godzilla. Oh, and Yeeting Beanz the flash outplay. And Costa's next. This top lane is Monkey Kingdom right now. This is Yeeting Beanz' jungle, and he is loving it. And he's gonna complete that now with finishing off the top tower. Oh, and we've an all in the mid. Really nice. Greedy base from Wheeler, thinking he's out of vision, and Yeeting Beanz is trying to get this wave into tower so he can reset. Now that tower plates have fallen, we really don't care about that power too much. But yeah, really nice plays overall. Really good proactivity from Team Yeeting Beanz at the moment, and really punishing this lack of engage tools that that Gloob's team have drafted. It's really awkward without the ability of like an Ashe arrow into a Mumu combo. To unless everybody's grouped up, there's really not going to be something to do. Yeeting Beanz getting a little bit greedy here. I've seen this one before. I think it's called Tarzan when we were.
There you go.
He's gonna get eaten by the monster. Oh, maybe this is the alternate reality where Godzilla won the.
That's round 2, you know.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, got a bit of help from the humans this time around. It seems a bit unfair to me, but you know, like, what can you do? But yeah, nice kill back onto Chuss. Needs to try to get himself onto his items, because honestly, like, Flash, Cho'Gath, ulti is probably going to be like one of the only tools you have to get the backline.
Yeah, and as Chat's pointing out, Big Chuss is slowly but surely moving towards being huge Chuss. Like, this is going to be a really, if he can become this indomitable frontline that the side of Yeeting Beanz' team can't really like shred very well. They have the Wukong for armor shred, but Jin notoriously struggles into tanks. So this Amumu and this Cho'Gath, if they can be really big, they begin to cause trouble for.
Yeah, like late game, Wukong's not going to do that much in team fights to the Cho'Gath. If like he gets that skin tank off, Gloop caught out though is going to get picked off straight away. Robbing that kill, but you know. you take those.
And really good proactivity from Waxy, seeing knowing exactly if Ashe ever flashes, she is the only target that I need to go for 5 minutes. And Toad Sage trying to get back in on the proactivity, but oversteps his mark and is not strong, and is now a very, very sad Amumu, as is with the theme of the character.
Yeah, unfortunately, does give over another kill, will cost his team the mid turret, and yeah, blue team now they have control again over bot river. Will get themselves a third dragon more than likely once it spawns. You see Costa and Wheeler possibly trying to get some vision in the top side, maybe look for a punish in return, but doesn't look like they're going to find anything at the moment. Waxy, I think, looks like he's going to try to get the Herald for himself.
I think the Ocean Soul is going to be really nice for Yeeting Beanz' team. I think it's going to it's really going to enable them to keep up with the tankiness. Oh my god! And Big Chuss forced to flash here. So much strength from the side of Yeeting Beanz. This ulti in the mid game is doing so much work because he's being able to hammer out a 2-kill lead for himself with very little help. So this has been really nice for him. He's having a great game.
Yeah. In the meantime, though, Big Chuss' team do manage to get themselves the mid turret in return for just his flash. So you'll take those. May even get themselves the Ocean Dragon here. Try to delay that soul power. Meanwhile, Waxy already insta spawns Herald in top lane. May have done so by accident. I don't really know. It's a weird play to do it, but yeah, they end up losing the dragon too. So it does delay the soul win condition. Don't think you're going to mind too much. They have like a massive gold lead already, and a lot of map control already. And you can see Beanz playing here with no fear. Has not really going to be scared of Big Chuss killing him anytime soon. Doesn't have much mana to work with, but it's just going to watch his Herald slowly die. That was just spawned randomly. So
yeah, I mean, it wasn't exactly that biggest worth, but Toad Sage potentially getting caught out here in the middle of the map, and Waxy again being here with the proactive plays, and the aggressive Hecker multi, maybe overstepped his mark, and cost a quarter with a good interrupt, but there's just not that much damage, and he eventually does go down to the heal of Gloob to save his support. So again, good aggression from the side of Yeeting Beanz, and really low health bars on multiple members of Gloob's team. So good aggression overall, and really trying to hammer home that we're strong right now, and we're really happy to fight in the mid game. So really good aggression, and Costa Corda's team are just trying their best to weather the storm.
Yeah, do overstep a little bit to give over a kill. Toad Sage barely escaping with his life. Again, they're not going to mind too much because again, there's just so much map control for them. So like they can just get the resets off now. There's not an awful lot that Big Chuss' team can do. When's the next objectives you have?
Is Heckram's build? Is Triforce builds only added 2 of those, right? Did you just get his build wrong, or is he kind of confused?
I don't know.
I think Triforce is only 3 of those, right? Why just true? Yeah, I mean either way, like Heckram is getting closer to his Trinity Force, which will be a nice big parrot spike, and Ori sitting on. Oh my God, Jin with the really early Lord Doms is really proactive. I mean, it's really early, but it makes a lot of sense into who he's likely to be hitting out of these members, and especially seeing Costa going Sunfire first. I think on the Gragas is going to be yet another armor stacking member that Jin's going to have to try and cut through.
Probably more likely to be something like the Chem Tank. It's just like the more effective version of Sunfire at the moment, and it's just a lot cheaper. I think it's synergizes really well with Gragas as well, right? Like you can speed yourself up, put yourself in a better position to make plays with the cask.
It's like playing Predator.
Yeah.
Predator. Oh my God! And Nefarious does so much damage with this build right now, and Wheeler with a really creative flash to get himself out on a on so little HP, and Waxy is left in the middle of no man's land. But Blank comes up with a snipe onto Wheeler with the Jin ulti, and we see Robster Monaghan caught out. He has flash, but they go for the turn, and Blank has so much damage at this point in the game, and him and Robster Monaghan come out with another kill onto Toad Sage, and a really nice 3v4 on the bot side for Yeeting Beanz' team again. Coming up clubs.
Blank cleaning up on the Jin, now 4-0-4, having the perfect Jin game, some would say, in fact. So yeah, he's going to be pretty happy. He's going to reset now. Should have a load of gold in his pocket once he gets his bot lane turret. Let's see, he has About 1500 in his pockets. Yeah, so he's probably going to look for, I'd say, something like the rapid fire next. So he can kind of keep himself, from the kind of engage that is available on the side of Big Justice team, and he can kind of just free fire without much worry. But yeah, again, dominant so far from Yeeting Beanz teams. Again, Beanz just kind of able to do whatever he really wants on the top side.
Yeah, I really like the just like bringing engage tools is really nice. Just like having loads of engage tools that always really stack with each other.
Yeah,
I think is really nice when you have teams that are just starting to play together. Because I mean that's the crux of this tournament really in the first few weeks is who can get to know how to play with each other well and who can be the first one to develop. And having like Hecarim, Jhin, Leona is such an easy combo to execute. You're like, okay, guys, let's not overcomplicate this for ourselves. Let's put this comp together, and it's something we're all comfortable on. And they're doing really well with it. And
I mean, like, it gives you so many options for engage, right? Like, you can even start with the Jhin just opening up with the ulti to like set up the chase down for Leona and Hecarim to follow up on. Or else you can have him like ending the fight, after they've already set up to engage. Like, so there's so many ways to kind of set up engages for them. It's just very nice.
Okay, we're moving into a very different set of the game now. So this is going to be our first 5v5 of the game, I think. So this is where Toad Sage's team's comp should really come online with the ability to front to back and to prevent the Hecarim diving from getting on the backside. And Costa Quarter being a little bit caught out here. Oh, and that's a lovely Orianna combo. And we got the Yeeting Beanz combo over the top with the Hecarim. Oh, and they are stacking their CC so well, and Wheeler is nowhere to be seen. Gloob can flash, and he can flash all he wants, but there is no escaping the Monkey Kingdom in this game. And Big Chuss, he might be big, but he's not strong, so he gets knocked down as well. And this is going to be... Oh, and Wheeler try going for a kill on the backside. Oh,
okay.
Brings Wacky down so low, and the bleed, and the... Oh, I think the shield kind of missed there a little bit, but unlucky all the same. Really nice proactive play from Wheeler on the backside to get something back for his team, and he might be able to sneak an Ocean Drake on the backside while blanking them eventually... I mean, it's not fast, but I guess it does the trick. And Yeeting Beanz going down to answer Wheeler here is going to be the fight that we really want to see. Can they really do this? I really think they're not that tanky. Oh my god, I guess they do. Wow. And yeah, so trying to prevent Yeeting Beanz from getting onto him here. Oh, he's so strong though for that burst. Oh, the exhaust is a little late. And now Costa and the boys are here with the Nom, with the Secure to give themselves get themselves something back on the other side. And Yeeting Beanz is on the wrong side of the map from his kingdom, and he might escape, but Godzilla and the boys, and they're getting TP'd on, so this might be the re-engage from Team Blank. And the Orianna coming in with the shockwave, and Waxy is here to bring down Godzilla and chase down the drunk man.
This is a bit of a white people's side for Big Chuss here, unfortunately. Overchased a little bit after getting themselves the dragon. So like they're answering back with picks. Wheeler especially just doing his best to like try to get whatever he can for his team, but yeah, they're 11k goal down, which is pretty rough with this kind of competition when you're looking for like that kind of mid-game team fighting 5-5. Oh, big fight happening in mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't. I think there is a few draft gaps here. I mean,
I think so.
Picking Ashe in this kind of scenario is really difficult, and I think if you're gonna have any sort of life, you need to take something like a Gale Force and try and be able to avoid the Hecarim R or the Leona R or something. But Yeeting Beanz' team really understanding their win con, understanding the way they want to play, and really shoving it down the throat of Team Toad Sage here. And Costa Quarter and Big Chuss, two big men on the side of Toad Sage's team, can do nothing but watch as the rest of their base crumbles around them and contemplate, where they're going to go to next game and how they're going to be able to change what they messed up on this game and be able to move it on in the future. So
yeah, it's a tough one, alright.
Absolutely. But I think overall, I don't think this. So really good win from the side of Yeeting Beanz team. I don't think that changes what anybody thought about the power levels of either team here. I think that's pretty in line with what people thought, with Blank's team and Yeeting Beanz' team being up there in terms of the strongest, and Gloob and Costa Corda's team having some learnings to do and really needing to be able to grow together and really have some synergy.
Yeah, for sure. Just gonna update the scoreboard here. So this is a best of 2. So we'll have to see how they end up, if they try to change, how they're gonna actually change their draft coming into game 2. They will be playing blue side, so they'll have first pick on anything that they want to prioritize. Maybe they can try get the Jin for Gloob, which I believe is one of his one tricks, if it's not banned away.
Absolutely, and just something to like maybe like potentially leaving 80 carry pick to slightly later in the rotation if things have a. Oh, do we have a damage graph for the chat there? That's like, can we give the gamers what they want?
Unfortunately, I already switched out, so my mistake, guys. My apologies. I think we can assume that Beanz, that was probably a little high. The fact that he's just kind of wailing on Cho'Gath for like 24 hours a day.
Literally, a bit of a Monkey Kingdom jungle kingdom there.
But yeah, I mean, like, he was dominant pretty much from Beanz, so maybe we might see something like the Wukong possibly even taken away as well. They don't want to give him, like, or try maybe get Chuss maybe a bit of a better matchup. It's obviously harder to do when you're on blue side, because red side you can just leave for counter pick. But I'd say, like, they'd probably be happy enough to, like, blind the Wukong again, right? I don't know. I don't think Big Chuss is a top laner by nature. Is that correct? I think he was.
Historically, he would have been, I think.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Top laner,
yeah.
And then moved to support, I think, rather recently.
So maybe they'll try get him maybe a bit more volatile than the Cho'Gath to try maybe win out in these top lane trades, because I think he just is a bit just too one-sided, having just that tank there.
The Bat Rastard top laner is the flashback that everyone remembers. As the what was it? The Akali Rumble menace that covered many a tournament in some top damage graphs, but something that, of course, Mr. Devils in chat will well remember.
Very true, very true. So
do you have a tournament code there?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'll get you now. One moment there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I think we've definitely seen like some potential draft issues from Costa Corda's team in the last game. Really, like, having some stuff like Ashe, stuff like Cassiopeia into heavy dive comp is really difficult to execute, and really requires you to be really careful how you draft and how you position and how you use your summoners. So it's going to be a huge point of focus now going into the next game. And again, from Yeeting Beanz, the team, you have that luxury to see, like, okay, well, I mean, this worked for us, but do we want to try something else? Do we want to try dash differently? Do we want to do a bit of a more of a siege comp, or a bit more of a disengage comp, or how do we want to go about this? So the ball really is in their court about how they want this next game wants to go.
True. I'm still waiting to see if Costa will follow through on his threat of taking smite support. So that's always something to watch out for. Of course, by tournament rules confirmed by Kerry earlier, they cannot roll swap in this. So Costa is forced into support. He cannot roll swap with Toad Sage, as I think they were actually looking to do for the tournament. So we'll see.
But it is not illegal for supports to take smite.
That is true.
It may be off meta and it may be a bit crap, but it is not illegal. So
it may happen. They may try to just maybe turn this series into a bit of an experiment for us and see if it works for them.
Absolutely. So yeah, so what we're seeing, we need to see some more tools potentially out of the bot lane for Toad Sage's team to prevent the hard to gauge that Yeeting Beanz' team have proven that they like to use. And alternatively, we saw Wheeler be able to really hammer out a solo advantage in this mid matchup, and Toad Sage being able to enable him, or freeing up Costa Corda to be able to go mid to hammer out more of an advantage is really something that I think Toad Sage's team should look to be able to do. So things like, I'm not really 100% sure on champ pools here, and I know they're not huge for a lot of people in this lobby, but there are a lot of champs that are good in the meta right now. I think that's something really nice. There is a lot of variety in terms of what people can play.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility. I think the biggest thing between these two teams is that they need to try maybe guide Toad Sage in how he's kind of patterning his jungle early on. like maybe try to get him to be more proactive. Because Waxy was just making so many plays early on with the Hecarim.
And I feel like when you get ahead on Hecarim and you have these easy targets to ult onto, it's so easy to be proactive when you know you're going to have Jhin follow up, when you know you're going to have Leona coming over the backside. So we'll see how this draft phase goes in terms of whether they're going to give them those tools again to be able to execute that kind of comp.
Yeah. So we are into champ select here. Seeing the Morgana banned off the table again, I think was a takeaway from both Nefarious and Robster Monaghan. So I think I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I would have liked to probably. I think you could probably drop the Morgana ban, if I'm honest. And you could probably focus more on something like pinching and eating beans to get Chuss a better matchup. But they're keeping bans same as last time. So Viego and Morgana both taking the way.
Yeah, I think Viego's kind of an interesting point. I mean, he's kind of new, and I don't think he's fully understood in terms of his build path or his optimal position even.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool to see that they're giving him a lot of respect. So obviously, like clearly, Waxy or Yeeting Beanz has grinded a lot of games on this champion in order to warrant a ban. And
so far he seems like very strong in both jungle and top lane. Especially given certain matchups, I think he can snowball very effectively. So definitely they don't want to try force their way into that. They will take away the Jhin themselves this time, so they don't want to blind pick that, and will instead take away Kai'Sa.
Banning the Jhin and taking the Kai'Sa is so much like you have so much more safety as Gloob here. You're no longer once you have Flash, you are just a walking minion until somebody decides to kill you. So Kai'Sa having so many more safety tools to allow Costa to potentially roam mid and him work with Wheeler and Toad Sage. Oh, okay, and in again with the Leona for Robster Monaghan.
Yep.
Really aggressive, and they showed that they can really abuse that in the mid game to blow flashes and to create advantages for themselves in lane. And Xayah coming straight in. Kai'Sa Xayah meta is coming in again, and been really nice. Like not a hard matchup, but a really soft counter into Kai'Sa. I.e., the Kai'Sa ever just ults in on the Xayah, you just turn on your W and just fight her. And it's a really nice matchup we've seen a lot over the world.
Yeah, and also it's just like good against sort of things you want to pair with the Kai'Sa, right? Like say like exactly like the Nautilus here, right? When you have something that wants to force hard engage onto the backline, Xayah is perfect in that. You kind of saw it earlier in our series versus you guys, where you can kind of just ult through all the CC, and then if anyone goes in on you, you can E straight away with the recall and just shred through people with it. It's so nasty.
Absolutely.
So
when you get that perfect scenario, it works so well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Blank's getting exactly what he wants to see here. You want to see like big, telegraphed ultis that you can dodge with the R and then be able to turn around afterwards. And Nautilus is one of those champs that into Xayah is notoriously not great. So I mean, it's a great 2v2 for Costa Gloob if they can get ahead, if they can begin to punish Blank on this low range AD carry. But and the set coming in for Yeeting Beanz is another one of his really classic picks and is a nice potential flex to jungle. I'm not really sure how that's worked recently with the changes to the jungle meta, but I presume with Stridebreaker he's still pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much sat jungle. Like normally if you see a flex, it's more like kind of top support. But obviously because they've already shown Leona, it's very unlikely that Robster Monaghan is going to be piloting the set. So yeah, more than likely Beanz can be piloting the champion he is most known for. And yeah,
I mean, Riot Games based set off Yeeting Beanz, right? I mean, you've seen photos of his abs. I mean, that's where they got the model for set. So
I've seen some photos, all right.
Exactly. So
but we won't talk about the ones we did see.
Of course, we do have to beat TOS. That's true. That's true.
It's true. So just looking at what bans in second rotation, Ori taking off the board for Nefarious, who actually had a pretty good game in it. To be honest, she had some really good shockwaves and plays with the champion. And then Galio and
Casio, really good showing from Wheeler last round. And similarly, denying the Ori Lux, so we are going to have a new mid matchup. And things like Galio, things like Ori are kind of the safest mids we can play on this patch right now. So we're going to have a bit more of a volatile mid laner, I think, this time. So a lot of mid bans overall towards Wheeler. So we're going to have to see how deep his champ pool goes. And Hecarim is still on the page for Waxy if he wants to go with this. Would be really nice. Okay, and the blind Syndra. Okay, that's fine. That's fine too. Especially if you're happy to respect and to go Banshee second into these likes of Ornn and Nautilus can be a really good mid matchup and give a
So-
lot of agency in the mid game.
Yeah, so it's interesting that they actually picked a Cinder here, so that they can kind of pick for.
Okay. What Wheelers out here
Uh-oh.
being really spicy. Okay. This is a much different look. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. So now you have Costa Corda on a playmaking support with a lot more ability to engage, and you have Wheeler on a really 1v9 hard carry champ. Now I don't expect the Talia here, but I think
Okay.
I'm not. Alright, is Costa going? This is a draft like Costa's going jungle.
I may have to refer to see if he was out of an argument with Kerry. One moment.
Okay.
Uh,
Interesting. Well, I mean, either way, if this is the draft that it is, I mean, Toad Sage on Karthus works really nicely. You can just kind of AFK farm in the jungle, and when you are needed, push buttons, and it is what it is. And I think
Yeah.
this is
I mean, if it's
not jungle poggers.
so, I guess it's good.
What is...
Yeah,
Okay, let's see here. No, I mean, I like Toad Sage on Karthus. I think it gives him a lot of it takes a lot of responsibility off him to be moving around the map well and to be able to respond to plays.
I mean, they're still swapping
Oh,
around. They still have
it
5
is.
seconds before the champs are locked in.
Costa is known as a big Karthus player. This is kind of strange here. Okay. Well, I mean, this is... I'm not really sure if we're split. All right. Well, I mean, Kerry can weigh in on this if he feels like it, but I thought this wasn't supposed to be the thing.
So, I mean, maybe he's trying to play Karthus support, perhaps.
I mean,
and just trying to like use it from out or two through
I
that.
think we have a double road swap here. No, I mean, Toad Sage is
yeah.
currently on Warren and Big Chuss is on. Okay, I mean,
I guess we'll see how they actually assign lane assignments.
Karthus full AP support
Yeah.
potentially. Potentially, that would be cool. That would be spicy. I wouldn't lie. Not sure if that's much of a Leona answer, but you know, could happen. Could happen. And Wheeler picking a really volatile matchup into Syndra, into Nefarious is really a statement about his confidence coming out of the last game, saying, okay, give me that more volatile matchup where I can get more of an advantage for myself and then be more of a... And they definitely picked such a good comp to enable Yasuo with Ornn, with Nautilus, to really like give him multiple knockouts within one fight, to give him a mix-up of targets that he wants to go for. So I like the draft from... I think it's Toad Sage's team, correct?
Yes.
It is Toad Sage's team, yeah.
Yep.
So...
Or sorry, Big Trust. Big Trust is the captain, I should say.
Oh, Big Chuss is captain of this?
Yeah.
Okay. Big Chuss team, really nice, I think, adaptation from the last game. And then from the side of Yeeting Beanz' team, just really nice adaptation. A similar comp to what they wanted to do last time, with a little bit harder to execute and with not quite as good enablers from Blank, but every step of the way it was really good answers to whatever Big Chuss' team were picking. So
yeah, I like the comps a lot. I'll have to see how Big Trust's team actually kind of do their lane times, because that could really swing how this all works out. But just from like compositions alone, I really like how these kind of match up to each other. I do like red sides more. I think it's a lot easier to execute, especially because, you know, Yasuo in particular can be a bit of a volatile pick if it can't kind of get ahead early on. You can have all the setup in the world for it, but it's not really going to do too much when you have this much peel and this much kind of tools to like kind of get yourself out of a situation like Blank has on Desire. So yeah, we'll have to see how they end up executing on it. But yeah.
And it's nice to have the best of twos as a little bit of a showing of both sides. I mean, it's cool seeing Senna having 0 priority. I think Senna's a really strong champ this patch, and to see her not get picked or banned on either side is really interesting.
Yeah.
And the first pick, Kaisa, into response with Zaya is really classic. Been there forever. And Waxy getting his Comfort Hecarim last pick, red side, is really interesting considering how much impact he had last game. I mean, this Leona Hecarim was what decimated their bot side last time. So it'll be interesting to see if they manage to get as ahead again. I mean, without Jin, it's a little bit harder to do, but...
Yeah. So it's interesting that they left the Hecarim until last pick. So maybe they were doing what you were theorizing, in that they were possibly trying to flex the set to see what Blue Team would end up locking in the end. But yeah, they take the Hecarim because they can see that, you know, it's still a pretty good situation for him, and Waxy had a pretty good performance on this in the first game.
Yeah, but I mean, if we see the people in the roles that they're playing currently, I mean, Costa on Karthus has been the ruiner of many custom games and tournaments alike. And I mean, Big Chuss, as a much more recently been a support player, is a much better match into Robster Monaghan than what we would see from Costa Corda in the last few games. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, not really sure it's supposed to be there, but we'll enjoy it while it's here anyways. So I like it a lot. I think Costa jungle and Wheeler as the mid laner is a much more potent 2v2 that you respect a lot more. And being able to put Toad Sage on a weak side top laner is so nice.
Yep.
I'd be able to put him on this Ornn and just say, hey, just we'll see you at level 14 where you can give us some items and kind of help with the game.
Mm-hmm. So it does appear that that's the way they are setting themselves up.
Okay.
They have role swapped. We'll have to wait to see what determined organizer ends up saying in regards to that. But look, we'll just cast as normal and we'll figure that shit out later.
Sure.
Right now, both teams kind of going for a 5-man spread, although the entrance to Raptors has not been covered. Big Trust is working his way over there now.
And you can just see Blank in chat is already spamming. This Kaisa has healed, not cleanse, and we have Leona early. Get down here and help me punish this. And oh, really nice early trades from onto Yeeting Beanz. I mean, there's no kill pressure, but I believe that's it's going to be a bit of a reset and a bit more of a top control of the map. They could really invade for wards if they wanted to, but Yeeting Beanz got what he came for, got the ward on the blue, so they're knowing where Karthus is starting. And this is really nice warding level 1 from side Yeeting Beanz, really proactive and really wanting to be able to track Costa Corda across the map. Karthus support with Smite is indeed a crazy big meta statement. I like it a lot.
Yep.
And
jungle item. So yeah, I mean, like,
yeah,
it's true. Just Costa is just ahead of the curve. Like, what can I say? You know,
has always been the case.
True.
Some would argue.
But I mean, other teams doesn't seem to be complaining about it. So maybe some sort of agreement was reached. I don't know.
Yeah. If you're okay with it, then who cares?
Yep. But yeah, seeing both teams start out here blank. Yeah, just trying to match the wave clear. I think.
And both teams wanting to start with their junglers on the top side to make the use of these huge engaged supports on the bot side. So Leona and Nautilus are really good setup for fighting early on the bot side. So Wheeler's already getting aggressive. This is what you have to do in Yasuo in these matchups with the mages. You have to be able to trade and use your passive to take trades that don't look too favorable initially. So Waxy being really proactive on his invades. I love it. I like this a lot, especially into Karthus when you have so much information on where his clear is going to be.
Yeah, did manage to get the red seal, looks like. Did he manage to secure it? Oh, Toad Sage getting really low. Maybe does not want to walk back into this because very vulnerable.
Wait, I don't think Waxy got that, did he?
No, he didn't.
Oh, he did not. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's not quite. Okay, so Costa Corda has a huge advantage in the jungle now. Huge amount of tempo and advantage. And Waxy is going to be a bit slow on this hack room to get started and will be much less of a powerhouse than he was last game unless he can get involved and get some of these kills.
Yeah, I think he was given a lot of information that there's movement from the lane, so he had to back out from getting the red. Ultimately, he goes back to his own side, and Beanz and Toad Sage are getting very low in the top lane here.
This is a brawly late side of the map. Holy moly, it's going to be perma fight now for any game that there's going to be a set into a top lane matchup that's a little bit on the weaker side. It's always going to be so much fighting, and especially when you have player mismatches like Toad Sage not being the most comfortable in this matchup. Oh, it's such a it forces early TP from Toad Sage, which is going to be such a massive advantage potentially for the side of Yeeting Beanz' team, where they can save that TP to match the aggressive plays that Big Chuss' team might be hoping to make on the bot side.
Yeah, in the meantime, Wheeler continuing to kind of just dominate mid lane, kind of forcing the face back under her turret, and some of the CS. Both junglers are going for this top crab, but Costa does have priority in his lanes, so Waxy possibly looking for a gank on the Wheeler instead.
Oh, and this is going to be so important for the Hecarim. Going in, oh, he's so early and he loses his flash. Oh, Wheeler committing with the exhaust, or committing with ignite, and flash. Wow, such a good punish from the mid jungle of Big Chuss's team, and beginning to force mid flash with the slow. Oh my god. So yeah, this is what we wanted to see from Wheeler and Costa Corda this game. We really needed to see them be able to punish Waxy and Nefarious on this a weaker mid 2v2 early, and Waxy being really behind in his jungle clear says, I really need to make something happen. I want to get back in this game, and seeing Costa Corda double scuttle it now is not going to be the sight that he wants to see. So
Yeah.
Costa Corda having a huge advantage in this game, and Wheeler with his individual matchup is so ahead.
Yeah, and the early film Yasuo was always really scary, especially for a control mage like Syndra, because he can really try to punish that, especially when it gets to that level 6. At the moment, bot lane, Blank having put on a lot of control himself now. It's nearly 10 CS up on the Kaiser, who will catch some of this wave obviously coming in. So, but getting the shove in, we'll get a good reset off here.
Zaya's wave control in this matchup is so good early. You really get to dictate whether you want to push or whether you want to freeze, and Kaiser really can't answer unless she ends up in this kind of mana situation where she really has no ability to answer. And Waxy getting some really nice proactive wards into the enemy jungle, but Costa has cleared this and is long gone, and Toad Sage got 1 HP. Oh my god.
I mean,
Beanz showing his comfort in this matchup.
I mean, Toad Sage has not shown any fear, but almost outplayed.
Okay, that was close. I mean, holy moly.
Yeah, like Toad Sage tried to cleanse it with the or ignored the CC with the Bellows Breath, but fortunately was just too low HP there. Probably wanted to back off in a safer position.
Wait, Wheeler is so aggressive. Oh, and Waxy is only level 4, and Cinder doesn't have the ulti yet. And yeah, so this is a style fest from Wheeler, showing I am so strong, and Hecarim is so far behind on his camps at this moment in time. He's so squishy, and yeah, I mean, having this level advantage on mid and item advantage too this early in the game is so detrimental for your jungler as your mid laner. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, really good punish, and that's what we wanted to see.
Yeah, Wheeler again just doing it, making sure he has been well ready for any time Cinder tries to assist Wheeler or Waxy, that is. But so yeah, he's playing these kind of fights out very well for himself.
And he's so comfortable on his Yasuo pick in this matchup, so really nice to see. And we'll say a lot more tools to enable him than it was in the last game. I mean, trying to enable Cassiopeia as a Mumu is really awkward to do, and so having like clear knockups and clear targets as well. This Syndra is going to be a clear target for Wheeler in the upcoming fight. So yeah,
so Costa has taken over the 6 now on the Curtis. Does have the ulti available. Waxy still level 4 on his Wolves, so very, very behind the pace here. So,
yeah, I mean, like Costa Corda is is higher level than Syndra. Like he's as strong as any of the solo laners on the side of red team, and I think the bot lane for Big Chuss's team are in a bit of a predicament where they're not really sure if they can shove the wave hard enough to get it into turret, and it's also not going to bounce. So this is one of those scenarios where you find yourself where you begin to bleed CS on the bot side, and that's where this 20 CS lead from Blank is beginning to show itself. Oh, and we have a bit of a strange TP from Syndra, so yeah, I mean, potentially seeing a gank from Toad Sage for Toad Sage saw a bit of an aggressive trade, which wasn't the norm, so that's fine too. And I mean, at the end of the day, the Syndra could get caught out here by the Yasuo. And the Costa Corda with the Karthus ulti is coming in early, and Wheeler isn't able to chase down, but the Syndra is missing so much CS and is already not being able to recover the lead that she has already given away to Yasuo.
Yeah, a lot of summoners and ultis used there, but ultimately nothing happening too much. And do see Costa now down outside. The dragon is getting the bot scuttle. And Waxy is here, but
Costa Corda's tempo here has been so good. He has been the first to every scuttle and has been just consistently 5 or 6 seconds ahead of Waxy in everything that he's attempted to do. So trying to Big Chuss potentially caught out here, and Blank is so strong in this scenario, so many feathers down, and Wheeler is just come down here to bail out his bot lane and really high. Oh my god, wow, it was such a huge combo from Blank, but unfortunately not able to capitalize. And Wheeler being really able to spread his lead to other parts of the map, and Blank potentially trying to bait here, and not be able to get too much done. So
Yeah, and also
yeah,
just back to again being so far behind, only level 5. If he had a level 6, maybe could have made something happen with that blank play. But ultimately, yeah, just can only just kind of watch and walk away. Blank up very far 9 by himself as well is very risky. Toad Sage.
Yeeting Beanz getting a bit impatient with the top lane matchup, saying I want to kill this guy and he's sitting under his turret. Can I just ult him out of his turret and kill him? But yeah, Toad Sage is having none of it. He's saying nope, I'm crawling back under my rock. Oh, and this is such an aggressive flash from Big Chuss.
Oh, blank.
And such a good flash from blank on the answer. And this is what we said, the engage from Nautilus is really not that guaranteed when it's going into Xayah and into Leona, who have such good counter engage. And Costa Corda is in a bad spot here, and Waxy finally gets to a 6, and Robster Monaghan on this Leona is able to enable them to win this 3v3 on the bot side.
Yeah, managed to secure themselves a couple of kills here. We'll get blank a bit more breathing room in the bot lane. So they're not out of this game yet, even though so far Costa has and Wheeler have definitely put on a clinic in the early game. Gold is actually all tied up. Toad Sage going aggressive here.
Oh no, never mind. Oh, and it's such a nice combo. Okay, finally, bit of an execution miss on that. A bit of a nice. It was a nice interrupt by Yeeting Beanz on the Oil ulti to get that micro stun whenever he read that Toad Sage was going for it. But yeah, like Wheeler is really putting on a show here of how to use your advantage as a mid laner on a Yasuo this early into the game, and how to get that advantage and spread it across the map. So yeah,
get himself a solo play up the top lane as well for his troubles. So continuing to try snowball his lead as much as possible. Won't be available for a fight potentially happening around the dragon here. But there is already a lot of control here for Big Chuss's team.
Wants this fight. He thinks, oh, I don't care about your mid lane lead, and blows flash from Yeeting Beanz, and I'm not sure that was the execution he was looking for, but and Team Yeeting Beanz still like this 3v4 on the bot side, and they do not have their mid or their top laner here, so this is going to be first strike of the game going over to Yeeting Beanz' team, barring a crazy smite steal from Costa Corda, which is not going to happen. So really nice punish, realizing okay, we're 4v3 on the bot side, our reset didn't come in time, so we're gonna just have to give that.
Yeah, Wheeler kind of overstaying there. Ultimately does cost his team the dragon there. But I don't think they're going to be too upset about it. It's just one early Cloud Drake. Doesn't make a huge difference in long term. Like, obviously, the Hecarim likes that. But, you know, otherwise, not going to be too upset. And everything kind of resetting back here. Beanz pushing in top wave. Wants to keep on wailing on the Zorn. And this tower almost double the CS of the Ornn. So Beanz in a pretty good position himself. Also has the Blade Run King complete, so we'll actually just shred through Ornn whenever he gets those Q procs off. We are looking to go aggressive here, but ultimately not too much happening at the moment.
Yeah, but what this has done though is really bought Team Toad Sage a lot of, or Team Big Chuss, really like a lot of time to scale, where they like all of their towers are still up. Yeah, you've lost a lot of plates on one side of the map, but you're not really heavily bleeding. Nobody's crazy fed on the side of Yeeting Beanz' team just yet. And yes, Yeeting Beanz is going to be really like do a lot of damage for the next few minutes, but he's really not going to be tanky. And moments like this are going to look pretty even overall. Oh, and Wheelers have so much damage in this scenario, and Yeeting Beanz is not going to be able to. Oh, and the trade kill with the Syndra ulti. Oh, and he's just hitting with Triumph. But Costa Corda does get the execute, and the kill onto Syndra comes through with Costa Corda hitting those Skittles. And Wheeler and Costa Corda are doing their best to take over this game by themselves. With the and the Herald does go to Wheeler, so he's gonna potentially drop this on this mid lane to try and get as many plates as possible, and could be a huge mid lane gold lead for Wheeler over the Syndra, which is really enabling him.
Wheeler's 2.4k gold ahead of Syndra, and Costa is nearly 2k gold ahead, 2.1 ahead of the Hecarim. So they're both putting a lot of work this early game, and it's really paying off for them so far.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a very different look in the mid game for Team Yeeting Beanz from the last game, because last game we realized it was Robster Monaghan and Waxy who were this death combo walking around with a Jhin ulti trying to kill people, and now those two members are not particularly strong, and you're going to have to rely on Yeeting Beanz on this set and blank on the Zaya. And Costa Corda potentially dead here on this topside gank.
Oh no.
And the burst coming through onto Waxy. And Yeeting Beanz is chasing. Oh, and he does get the kill onto Costa Corda. And he gets the shutdown. But who's here to answer? It is Wheeler on the backside. And Toad Sage going a little bit low here. But the skittle from Costa Corda and the damage from Wheeler knocked down the two. So a 2-for-1 trade on the side of Big Chuss's team will have them exactly where they want to be going into the mid-game.
Yeah. So ultimately, we do see bot lane turret going down. So their team Yeeting's trying to trade back, but ultimately a lot of gold going in the favor here of Team Big Chuss. They're going to be pretty happy going into this mid game. They have a lot of tools available to them. They've got Shield Bow and Leander complete on Wheeler and Costa. Big now Ferris maybe call out. Those are hold for Big Chuss. That's a huge anchor that unfortunately just goes a little bit wide.
And the shot goes wide. But I mean, those happen. And yeah. Syndra being without a tower and going into this mid game with things like Ornn and things like Nautilus ulti into Yasuo ulti is going to be so dangerous for Syndra to play. So we're going to hopefully see a Banshees coming in soon to be able to neutralize some of that damage. But Team Big Chuss have actually had some really decent deep wards into Waxy's jungle to be able to predict his pathing throughout the game, and has been able to really set up this map so that they know where they can walk and where they can't. And if this gets them a pick, I think that's going to be a huge benefit for them.
Big Chuss hate to see it.
Killed by his hopes and dreams were ruined by the 2 pixels that prevented him from doing this. Huge engage from Yeeting Beanz, catching Toad Sage out, who is absolutely out of position, and Costa Corda is caught with his pants down, ulting in the middle of nowhere, and this is disaster for Big Chuss's team. And Gloob gets caught out also, having to burn the ulti, having to burn the flash, and the Gale Force, and Wheeler and Wheeler and Big Chuss on the backside trying to get something back. And Wheeler is on fire in this game, blowing the Yasuo ulti. And he 1v3s! And it is just Wheeler and Big Chuss against the world. And this could be a penta for Wheeler in this game, as he is coming up huge with the entire goal lead on his shoulders. And that is a 2v4 from the side of Big Chuss and Wheeler in this game. And that is a huge play from them.
I mean, it looked so awful for Big Chuss's team there. Like, the cost to ult in the middle of no man's land gets punished for it super heavily. There's big chase downs coming from Waxy, but Wheeler just comes in on the backside, just cleans house with Big Chuss. Goes get them. The dragon does maintain their lead pretty hard. Beanz doing his best to trade back here. Waxy barely dodges the hook. But yeah, Yasuo, absolutely massive.
Enormous. And I mean, him and the Nautilus being so strong to be able to burn Zaya, Sums, and ulti and still kill is enormous. It's such a massive play and buys them so much time, because I mean, the rest of the team is really not in good stats in their jungle matchups. And Waxy trying to fight again, but there was wind wall by so much time, and Wheeler is so fucking strong and is able to deny the engage from Waxy, and Blank was not able to follow up with the wind wall to deny. So yeah, Big Chuss and Wheeler are just the tag team duo that are going around trying to kill everything, and this is going to be really scary if you're Syndra or you're
and it's even worse
in this game,
because Wheeler can go back to base. He just outright bought a Guardian Angel. He had 3k gold in the pocket.
3 items at 18 minutes. This guy is unbelievably strong, and Gloob caught being a little bit too greedy, trying to take back some gold, trying to get back into the game and take enemy rates, and it was caught out for it. But it's going to be a nice injection of gold into the Syndra pockets as well.
Yeah, Syndra 4 and 2 does have her own Doodle complete, but ultimately looking very scary.
And the hook from Narnia.
Oh, nice Syndra stun.
Maybe
just barely saves.
And Robster Monaghan can limp out, but Waxy comes through with his 0 damage ultimate, and Costa Corda comes over to punish. And Wheeler slides in on the Ornn ulti to execute Waxy. And this is a much different game. And Blanks gets knocked up into the Zaya ulti. Massive root, hoping to execute onto Big Chuss, but is not able to follow up. And now Costa Corda is here, and we are missing a lot of cooldowns for the side of Yeeting Beanz' team. And Yeah, this is such a good. They're so good at skirmishing on this Yasuo or Nautilus combo, and it's giving them so much pressure to be able to enable Wheeler to get onto these carries and to be able to put down this damage when he is so far ahead of the game.
Yeah, and he's got so much lifesteal as well. Like he can just sustain and stay in these fights because he's a manaless champion. You know, we'd love to see those. And yeah, he can just keep scrapping. He can keep staying on the map and just keep making plays like this.
And he's buying so much time for Costa Corda to get to his items. I mean, Costa has been in so few of these fights, but has been able to pick up so much KP with his ultimate that he's really ahead of the Hecarim and so far ahead of the game. I mean, he's almost flame horizoning in the jungle. And this is going to be a huge detriment. And I mean, if you're blank in this scenario, you really are asking, holy, what do I have to do to get ahead of this game? What do I have to do to pull it back? And it is just going to be playing as consistently as possible and trying to get to your items so that you can deny the one-shots from all these characters.
Well, actually, looking for a play here is going to ultimately just get caught out here, though. That's very over-aggressive.
And I think this is what we asked coming out of last game. Could the Yeeting Beanz' team adapt to not being ahead in the early game? It's very easy to play Hecarim when you've got a million kills and it's an Ashe that you're diving on, or it's a Gragas that can only body slam you away or stop you a little bit. But when things are Xayah, things are Kai'Sa with a Nautilus support, there's a lot of burst going around that he doesn't want to mess with.
Yeah, a big scrap going up here in the top wave. Robster trying to get away, but is going to get chased down.
He's not happy with his flash, and he is going to burn down to Costa Corda on this cart. This is really getting into his mid-game spike, and Yeeting Beanz' team are looking a little bit lost when their engage tools are on these really behind members that don't have the tankiness to go in.
Yeah, and it should be a free enough Baron here for the side of Big Chuss. They have so much vision control in the top red jungle. They can just start this and have basically no fear. Waxy currently down the bot side of the map. No one's going to try to contest this.
And you wonder if the team Yeeting Beanz even knows that this is happening. I mean everybody is facing and they really don't know. So yeah, really like heads up move from team Big Chuss, and really ahead of the plate. Like 21-minute Barons are so much pressure, and it's so difficult to kill these waves when you haven't had a chance to get to 2 items on any person other than Blank and Yeeting Beanz. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure coming into them, and with a drag coming up recently, it's going to be interesting how much Yeeting Beanz' team have to give up for this Baron.
Yeah, like ultimately, like maybe you can try to secure yourself a dragon, but I think it's super risky at this point. Like you kind of just have to stabilize, get vision down, try pick up as many waves as possible, especially funnel them into Blank on this Xayah pick, who's going to be your main source of damage at this point because Waxy is just so far behind the pace. If he tries to go into these fights, he's just going to die instantly, right? So he's more there to try to provide like team fight utility, you know, with the massive fear, AoE fear. But yeah, it's tough. Like it's very tough to kind of fight back from this position. So you just kind of have to concede things like the dragon, which is ultimately not the worst to give up here. It's only the second dragon for the side of Big Chuss. It is a mountain, so it does make them a little tankier and obviously a little harder to kill in the process. But
can there be no spoilers in chat, please? I repeat, can there be no spoilers in chat? Thank you. No spoilers. So I mean it's been
look, they've got the Baron. They're in a really good position to push here. Beanz is going to go down under turret. So yeah, they're going to make a big push here with the Baron, and they've got waves pushed in mid as well. It's going to be really hard for Yeeting Beanz' team to defend this.
Yeah, and really good wave setup from the side of Big Chuss' team. The mid turret is being assailed by minions, and they're on this bot lane at the same time, and they really can't contest at all. And I mean, the call is, okay, give this up, and hopefully they mess up under our Nexus turrets, and we can farm up to get ahead. But right now, this is looking dire straits for Big Chuss' team, or sorry, for Yeeting Beanz' team, and they really need to find some way into this game. Some way, and some drastic mistake from the side of Big Chuss.
Yeah, I'm trying to put on the last base defense here. Aren't any minions yet quite for Big Chuss' team to end the game with, but they are...
We're seeing potentially an engage from Yeeting Beanz. Oh, and they like their chances. And Wheeler one-shots Waxy. And the ultimate from Xayah and the ultimate from Leona are non-factors. And the flash from Syndra, I mean, this is a dead game, but Wheeler is so strong on this Yasuo. And this is looking like a cooked penta from himself. But a huge game from him. This Yasuo pick, we saw it in early in the draft, and they picked all of the tools to be able to enable him, and he was so proactive in punishing Waxy and working with Costa Corda to win their 2v2 in the jungle. And yeah, this was a huge game and a great turnaround from the previous, because the previous game did not look convincing at all, and Waxy seeing two very different sides in two very different games. So this will be a good learning experience for both teams, I think. And yeah, hopefully Team Big Chuss is able to finish out this game.
Yeah, it is the game-ending bug on Spectator, so we can safely assume that the Nexus did in fact go down.
I believe is what we saw saying there. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, well played. The comeback from Big Chuss's team. Obviously, swapping round positions did help him a little bit. Having Costa on his signature pick as well in jungle definitely helped. And Wheeler, obviously, showed huge
standout performance. Yeah, standout performance. And it was a lot of the reason that they had any gold closeness whatsoever in the last game on the Cassiopeia into Ori matchup. So yeah, really good overall from the side of Big Chuss in the second game. I mean, the role swapping is really helping them a lot if they're allowed to do that. And from the side of Yeeting Beanz' team, they showed their weaknesses this game when they're not able to use reliable engage tools that aren't able to survive the dive that they really do struggle. So
yeah, like I will say, like when the role swaps are coming in, like Costa's team or Big Chuss's team does look a lot stronger, especially when Costa can play in the jungle. So it is a tough matchup overall for them. I think they'll be stronger for it though, because I think they've shown a lot of good stuff in game one, especially if they can kind of get that snowball kind of going for them. But yeah, like I think there's good games from both teams.
For sure. First game was so convincing for Team Yeeting Beanz, and second game for quite the opposite for Team Big Chuss was really convincing. Waxy and Robster Monaghan for being really cohesive in the first game and being able to get a lot of advantages together, and in the second game Wheeler and Costa Corda really working well to smash that mid jungle 2v2 and get ahead, and to not let that stop either, to keep the snowball rolling, to keep the gold lead growing. And really impressive.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how both these teams kind of progress throughout the tournament. But that is all for tonight, guys. That was the best of two in Group A for the Captain's Draft Rivalry tournament. So thank you, Niall, for joining me. And we'll see you guys later. Take it easy.